Okay, today is a perfect day because it's nice and sunny for trimming your hydrangeas. So we're gonna be doing this today. All you need is a pair of secateurs. Make sure they are sharp, because if they're not sharp you're gonna do more damage than good, because instead of cutting nice and sharp, you're gonna damage actual stems, so that's not good. So you need to be sharp. Also, if it's first year you're gonna be trimming hydrangeas, you want to cut it till from the ground 15 centimeters up. So that's your height of hydrangeas. So I've got one of those sticks. We're gonna put them in the ground and you can cut everything 15 centimeters from the ground. So easy peasy. Now at the same time we're gonna cut them, we can make we need a rooting gel or rooting, you can use a powder one or gel. I prefer this one. I used this one for roses and it worked wonders, so I know it's tested and it's really good, highly recommended. I'm using a gel, but we can do you know, we can do the cuttings of hydrangeas, because this is the easiest thing to do the cutting while you're trimming them. So we'll do both. So let's get started. Okay, before we start we need to know there are different types of hydrangeas, and of course there's different way how we can cut them. This is a hydrangeas which is called Limelight, which is completely different than garden hydrangea. This is example of a garden hydrangea. This one we wouldn't touch till early spring before we can trim it. So this one, it's easily affected by the frost, so we need to wait till the last frost until we can actually start trimming it. So it's important we leave those, and those are completely different than this one. Limelight, there are a few different types of those hydrangeas. There are Limelight and polar bear, for example. Those are only few types of this type of hydrangea. This one is not scared of any frost, which means that it's not affected by frost. We can trim it around end of December. Even we can start trimming at end of December up until spring, which means this is now beginning of February. I can go ahead and trim it. It is very easy to trim it. This is the first year I'm going to be trimming it. So what we have to do first, it's easy. The rule for this one for first year is gonna basically, we're gonna be trimming from the ground 15 centimeters up. You cut it and don't worry about it. The last thing you need to do is get rid of the weak stems. So the weak stems are any stems which are thinner than a pencil. So you can see it straight away that some of the stems are weaker than the other, and you can see where the flowers were. So you can see the flowers were there, and you can basically see how many flowers you had it. If you want to have very strong big flowers, and that's usually the type of flowers you will get, large flowers, the stems need to hold that flower obviously and be strong enough. So the rule is you're gonna get rid of any stems which are thinner than a pencil. So in here, if we look from the bottom, it's easy to see that this one is very weak stem. You're gonna cut it out completely. This one, this one, this one. So if you're unsure what to do, start with them, the weak stems, which not gonna hold the flower. Obviously this one, you can see this not gonna hold anything, the same as this one. Can you see? It's very weak stem. It's most likely it's dead inside and white. And for example this one. So we're gonna get rid of those little stems which not doing any good to the plant, and the one from there. Once we get rid of them, we can trim it till 15 centimeters above the ground and we ready to go. It's all good. For example, if you want to know why we're getting rid of the thin stems which are not going to do any good, the reason is that you want to make the first year, especially you want roots to be well established, and only way of doing this is cutting the plant quite short, so all the energy going to the roots, and by the springtime it's going to come out and make the plant stronger. So establishing the roots is the main reason you want to cut the plant short the first year. So 15 centimeters rules from the ground is the best way to go around this. Second thing, why we're not leaving the weak stems like those, is because if the plant has lots of stems, obviously it will try to distribute the energy and the feed from the ground, from the roots to every single stem. So if that stem for example that one, can hold the flower, and obviously it's easy to see and easy to tell that this stem won't hold the flower come spring. We want to get rid of that completely. Why? Because the plant will be wasting energy on it, because it will try to distribute energy everywhere and will be wasting energy on something which not gonna hold the flower. So effectively we're just wasting energy which we could use to go into big stem and give us a stronger, bigger flower. So if we're gonna get rid of those stems, there will be more energy going into main ones, and those flowers will be, will no problem, will be holding by very strong stem. So that's the main reason why we're getting rid of weak ones. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna trim that hydrangea, get rid of thin stems first, and then we're gonna trim it to 15 centimeters. That's it. Very easy. So you can see in here what's happening, which one are very weak. Okay, as you can see in here, now we got rid of all the stems which are thinner than pencil. What we're gonna do now is cut it on 50 centimeters above the ground, and we're done. So that's what I'm gonna do now. We've got a measure in here, and as you can see, he's quite short. Okay, last thing, we nearly cut it for 15 centimeters. What we have to do, remember, is that we have to cut it right way. We can't do it straight like in here, because if it's gonna rain, the water will be sitting on top of it. We have to cut it that way, like a rose. So I will show you. This is a rose in here. We want to cut it that way. Why? Because if it's gonna rain, the water is sliding. So this is very important. The same with hydrangeas. We're just gonna make sure we cut it right, and we're done. That's how a hydrangea looks first year. So from the ground 15 centimeters up, we don't have to worry about anything. It will be nice, strong, big flowers. I'll make sure to show you a video from the summer so you can see how it looks like in practice. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Okay, in terms of cutting, this is a cutting from polar bear. From all the cutting leftovers, you're just choosing the strongest one. We're getting rid of the rest, and I don't need that many anyway, so I'm gonna leave the best ones. And this one is from Limelight. We're gonna cut them as the same as this. At the bottom you want it straight, and at the top you want it that way. We're gonna put them in a rooting gel and straight in the soil, and we're gonna leave it like that till April. Very easy.